should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Good morning. Good morning. It has been crazy. Oh my God. Yesterday was like one of the worst days I've ever experienced. I hate the IRS, and I'll leave that at that. Thank you, Jenny, for being here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to jump on into this interview. I don't know how much of it we'll get through today. I'm hoping we can get through a lot of it. So we're going to start with the audio of Jennifer Soto. This was February 28th, and then the two video interrogations of Jennifer and Stefan are, I believe it's March 1st or 2nd. I'm not sure. I think it's the 1st. So in chronological order, it is this audio file first, and this, I believe, is an audio file because they show her pictures of what was going on between Stefan and Madeline, so they wouldn't put that out in a video file. And then next would be the video file of Jennifer, because they spend the 3.5 hours that Stefan was in the room sleeping talking to Jennifer, and then they go in and talk to Stefan, and he ends up getting arrested. So we'll start with the audio. This was February 28th, 2024, at 3:49 p.m. And I'm just pulling it up through my video so that we have pictures to look at while we listen to it.
Reference Orange County case 24-013113. Today is February 28th, 2024. Time is approximately 15:49 hours. Detective Acosta, located at Central Operations, conducting an interview with Jennifer Soto, and President is Detective Calise.
Are we going to the budget family?
Most likely.
Okay, that hasn't started yet?
I'd have to check. I do not know. I've been out here. Doing okay? Holding up all right? No, I know it's tough. Let's head to back to SCR. Let's go see where he's at.
Yeah, he should be ready. I just gotta. I need to test that connection.
Which one?
That USB connection.
So this is going to be them walking through and just getting things set up, and ready to sit down and do the interview.
Over here.
Sounds like walking to me, so that's what I think it is. I found in this video the pictures from her 12th birthday, and she looks so cute. She looks so distinguished, and she looks like a young lady. She was so beautiful. That's one thing that really bothers me about this case, because I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I have she'll be 14 in December year-old daughter. And you know, when you're at that age, you don't think that you're pretty, and you're like, you know, somebody tells you you're pretty, you're like, no, I'm not. Stop. I was like that too when I was younger. Most girls are. They don't feel like they're very pretty, and they're kind of, you know, hard on themselves as far as the way they look, you know. And I wonder if Madeline knew how beautiful she really was. And it bothers me that I don't think she did. I worry that she didn't know how beautiful and amazing and precious she was, and I wish I could tell her. That's something I was thinking about when I was making the images for this video, just how beautiful she really is.
You take a seat wherever, man. So like I told you, my name is Detective Police of the Sheriff's Office. This is
Detective Acosta.
you're
Thanks.
Jennifer, correct? And then
That's
Is
redacted.
that what I understand?
Yes, but he's actually on his way to Florida.
Okay.
That's them redacting it. That's not me. Because they redact Maddie's name and things.
He recently moved back down in December to Northport, Florida.
Okay.
His dad had offered him a job, but it fell through.
Okay.
So he's kind of stuck down.
Gotcha.
We are waiting for. He used to work at Disney.
Okay. What did you do at Disney?
He worked in attractions at Epcot.
Okay. And
We have to wait.
what was the job that his dad was trying to get him? Do you know?
It was like construction manager or like an assistant construction manager or project manager, something like that, like an apprenticeship kind of thing.
Okay.
That fell through. So we were waiting we have to wait a specific amount of time for you to reapply to Disney again.
Okay.
From when you resigned.
Right.
So we're waiting for that time for him to reapply again so that he can come back up here.
Okay. So how often does he stay at the apartment with you guys?
So he was living with us up until December.
Okay.
And then he's visited us like since December twice or three times since then.
And how long does he usually stay for?
Anywhere from a few days to a week.
Okay. And then he goes back down there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm assuming he stays with his dad when he goes down there?
Yeah.
Okay. How long has he been in town recently?
He got into town Sunday evening.
This past Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. And he was staying with you?
Hi, Jenny. I'm glad that you're here, hon. All I've said so far is I've talked about just how beautiful Maddie was. And when I was making the background images to go with this audio interrogation, I have a 16-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old daughter. And, when you're at that age, especially young girls, they don't think they're pretty. You can tell them that they're beautiful and try to make them understand how beautiful they really are. And they're just like, no, I don't think so, but thank you. Like, you kind of have to say that because you're my mom, you love me, that kind of thing. And it bothers me to think that she didn't know how beautiful she really was, because she is so pretty. And I really worry that she had no idea how beautiful she was. And I wish I could tell her. That's all I've really talked about so far. It bothers me too that up until all this was going on, he was about to reapply at Disney, waiting for when he resigned, like the time period to expire, so he can move right back in, even though Jen has stated before that Madeline was doing way better without him there.
With you? Yeah. Okay. All right. And then
That's redacted. That's not me.
They're very similar. They're both very childish. Like he loves board games, video games, arts and crafts, all that
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
I'm kind of a watcher.
What do you mean?
Like I won't play the games. I'll watch them play the games.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
be
I
a
see what
part
you're
of
saying.
it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
But he's more involved with that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Okay. Do they ever go off on their own? Like you kind of do your thing and the two of them do stuff together?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
It's for the most part, it's the three of us doing something.
Gotcha. And then when he stays, does he sleep on a couch, separate bedroom? What's like the sleeping arrangements like?
It depends. For the most part, he would sleep upstairs in the guest room, sleep in my bedroom downstairs.
Okay.
Sometimes he would come sleep in the bed, all three of us together.
Okay.
And rarely ever would I send them upstairs to go sleep alone away from me because I need a good night's sleep. Because if we sleep all the three of us together,
Oh, I can only imagine.
it's a king bed, but it's like
Well, she's not a small baby anymore.
no, she's not. So it's just
And she states in this and throughout this that she only sent them upstairs like a handful of times to actually sleep in the same bed together. But he had CSA images going all the way back from the time she was 8 years old. So there's only two possible scenarios when we take that into consideration. And that's going to be that she was letting them go up there and sleep together way more than she stated before, or she knew about it. And when you take into account all the other things, her reaction when the officer's trying to tell her that Maddie wasn't asleep in that car, and all the other things and the way she reacts about Madeline, I don't know what other not excuse, but conclusion you could come to that is not going to end up being that she knew. Like, there's no way. Sometimes parents don't know, but I really think she knew. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. And I think she needs to face charges for it. I try to give the benefit of the doubt and look at everything from all angles, but I have tried really hard with Jennifer Soto, and I can't find a way around this situation and come to the conclusion that she didn't know. I really can't. Like, there's no way, even being as oblivious as she was on all that medication, there's still no way you didn't know.
It's just three humans on a bed is really uncomfortable, really tight.
About how often was they would go, you would send them off on their own?
I would say honestly, somewhere between, I'm going to say less than 5 times has this ever happened, right?
That's
It
fine.
hasn't been that.
And this
many
is over
times.
the course of him visiting back and forth, correct?
You mean the sleeping arrangements
Yeah.
down alone?
Yeah.
No, that was including him living with us.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
hardly ever would I send them upstairs because I had that rule that she couldn't sleep alone with him. That's just me. I'm just
Right.
very,
And then you said,
They redacted that part. But yeah, here you are trying to sound like the good mom. Oh, I had that rule that they couldn't sleep together. Meanwhile, they got all these CSA images and videos and shit. I mean, it was in her notebook. Like, she was drawing graphic pictures of what was happening to her in her notebook. I don't understand how you could be that oblivious. I don't think you can. I really don't.
so you're pretty familiar with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Whose hand does that look like to you?
I would say that's Stefan's.
Is that Stefan's hand?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. So you and Stefan, have you guys been sexually intimate before in the past?
Yes.
So you're aware of what like his penis looks like and things like that, correct?
Yes.
Does this look like Stefan's penis to you?
No.
No. Okay. What about that?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Now, these pictures where they're asking her to identify his penis, he's not just taking pictures of just his member, you know what I mean? Like, she more than likely, and in my opinion, right now they're showing her pictures of his member, and they've got some part of Madeline in the picture. And because, like, he wouldn't be taking a picture of just that normally unless you're sending a pic to somebody, and I don't think he was doing that. I really think that she's looking right now at images of what he was doing to her daughter, and that is her reaction, just flat, emotionless. Like, that it's a picture with Madeline in it or some part of her body. And it bothers me. She's just flat. No emotion, no reaction. Again, makes me think that you knew.
Yeah,
So you're thinking that's his penis?
might be.
Okay.
If anything, it's not even the penis I'm recognizing, it's the things around it.
So it's the things around it that make you believe it's his penis?
Yeah.
Okay. So
The things around it, like the things in Madeline's room, maybe the things in the upstairs room where you sent him to sleep with Madeline, not the things around it that were in your room. We know that it's not pictures from her room. It's the things around the picture, like upstairs in the room where he's sleeping with your child, or in her little corner with the freaking boards put up for her to change behind with holes all in it. Jennifer says, I try to, but she says in another interview up until 2 weeks ago, she is always home and on disability. So how didn't she know that? Exactly. Tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. Me too. Like, I try so hard because I've always, my whole life, I've always looked at things from all the perspectives. If I was going to make a decision, okay, if I make this decision, is this going to happen? Could this happen? Could this happen? Could this happen? You know, so it's easy for me to look at these things, but good Lord, like, I mean, I'm already at, she's walking around with blinders on, like, to the point that she's walking into walls and shit. And, like, still, there's no way you could have known. Goodness.
So we have these images, and unfortunately, over the last maybe 2 or 3 years, he's been doing oral sex, vaginal sex, and things like that.
What makes you guys?
We have photos.
Okay.
We have his phone.
I'm going to play it, and I don't mean to keep pausing it, but her response is not, oh my God, where is this motherfucker so I can kill him? It's what makes you guys think that? You're talking to the police who just took his phone right after he did a master reset on his phone, and you're asking them what makes them think that. Not, oh my God, oh, like, you know, being hit with all these awful things. You're asking them how they know that. I don't, again, that's the reaction you would have if you knew. How do you know that? I know that. Stefan knows that. Maddie knows that. How do you know that? Not, where's this motherfucker at? I'm about to kill him right now. Because that would be my reaction. They probably had to hold my ass down because I'm going to find somebody. And they're going to be hurting, if not dead. Jen said this part really gets me upset where she sees the CSSA. Oh, I might have said it wrong. I thought it was CSA, but it's CSSA maybe. Pictures and still doesn't believe it. Exactly. My mod Jen is so smart. She helps me when I forget names and things like that. She's like the best mod ever. I love Jen.
We were able to get into his phone. And there are some very, very unfortunate graphic pictures of him conducting various sexual acts with. I wish I could tell you this was all a made-up story, but it's not. Did you ever suspect anything like this? No? You okay? Okay. Can I get you anything?
Maybe some water.
Some water? If you want to take it. Yeah.
No tears. Just talking real low. And like, you know, like when a child, like if you caught a child doing something, how they'll kind of talk real low, look down at the ground, you know, oh yeah, I was doing that. I'm sorry, you know, talk real light. That's what this is to me. It's not upset about having just found out that this was happening to your child. It's, oh, I got caught. I'm in trouble. Let me talk real low. I mean, and this is all my opinion. I need to put my banner up. I'll do that, but come on, Jennifer Soto.
How are you feeling right now?
Can't breathe.
Is this a surprise?
Is there photos of her?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they having to ask her if it's a surprise? Like, why isn't your reaction showing that it's a surprise? If they have to ask you, it's, you know, you wouldn't have to ask me. You'd have to hold my ass down. I'm just telling you. Jenny Jen says, exactly, I agree with you. If that was me finding out that about my child, I would not be able to keep calm. I would be so loud. I would too. They probably have to tase my ass because I'm going to get somebody.
Yes. So you know how we have his phone? Obviously, that's how we were able to find the photos
I don't want to believe that this is true. Can I see some of that evidence?
What makes you believe that it's not?
I thought I knew him well enough.
You said you thought you knew him well enough?
So our goal, we want to find her. Can you think of anything of where Stefan would take her? Did they have any special hangout spots? Did they have any places that they would do together while you were at work or you had other things going on in your life?
The only place they would go is hang out at home. There's no place I can think of where they've gone outside. I mean, they've gone shopping.
There's no place she's saying there's no place I could think of that they would go. But I mean, no tears, no anything. This shit's crazy to me. I can't believe her reaction. Why? There's no way she didn't know.
Shopping to like Target before.
Okay. But anywhere else that you can think of? What are you thinking about right now?
How this can be true? How I missed the signs?
What signs are you saying you missed?
No, like I'm just saying, if there were any signs, I didn't see any.
Right. Like these aren't. I'm not telling you. Like these aren't just Google images that we found. Like
Making up excuses. If there were signs, I didn't see any. You're making an excuse for yourself. Not even upset. I can't, man.
these are actual images, and I don't want you to. I don't. But this investigation has taken us down this road. So wherever you think right now, we want to know so we can go get her safely.
Of course, I just have no idea.
Did Stefan ever take her back down to Newport Richie?
Newport, Florida.
Newport, Florida. I'm sorry.
Alone, no.
Alone? You guys would go together?
Yeah. Or I would drive down, just hang out.
Okay. So when Stefan would not stay at the house with you guys, where else would he stay?
In his apartment in his house in Northport, Florida. That's it.
But when he would visit here, he would always stay in your house. He would never go get a hotel or stay at a friend's house or anything like that.
No, just yeah.
Okay. Why did he go to Newport, Florida this morning?
This morning?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious. I heard a rumor that he possibly went down there.
No.
I don't know. Them is maybe lost in translation.
No, he didn't. We were in the hotel. If anything, he stepped out to go get some Wawa.
Okay.
And then came back.
But how long was he gone for?
Um,
Does he have a new phone since we have his, or?
I think his dad may have handed him a new phone.
Okay. Do you know the phone number to that new phone?
No.
Okay. What's his dad do?
Works in real estate. I think he's a broker.
So look, we just need any information. Any.
No, I know, but there's nothing I can give you. There's nothing I can.
Did you communicate with Stefan on the new phone with your phone? No.
I just want to. I believe you. I want to believe you, but I won't believe you until I see actual.
Are you sure you want to see that? I'll go get it. Are you sure you want to see that?
I don't understand this part. Like, I think she's trying to explain why she's not having the emotion that she should be having by passing it off as, oh, I'm not going to believe you until I actually see it. Because she realizes that she's not having the emotional reaction that somebody should have after finding out that someone's been doing that to their child. For the police said in this one, the past 2 or 3 years, but we found out from the documents, I need to pull them and put them up, that that came out way in the beginning, that it had been going on since she was 8 years old.
Take my word of advice. I wouldn't, blow smoke up your butt and tell you, that's a fake picture. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I'll be more than happy to show you those images, but I don't know if I would want to see those. But if you want to see them, that's your own prerogative.
Can you tell me what's being done in the photos?
She has a penis in her mouth.
Like, what's being done in the photo? What do you mean? Like, any photo that has his penis and her in it is sick. What do you mean what they're doing in the photo? Do you think that they're using it as a paintbrush to draw pretty pictures? What the fuck kind of question was that? I'm sorry. I just can't.
And that picture that you said that the stuff identified that Stefan's penis around her, I zoomed in on that photo because in that picture, it's in her mouth. Do you need any more water? Are you okay?
I literally thought I was coming here for the press conference, but this is not what we're here for.
I know. And it's unfortunate that, these are the details that we found, but I think it's very important now that we kind of sit back, evaluate everything, and kind of think every step of the way where Stefan has been in the past, where he can be right now, because at the end of the day, we want to go get her.
Yeah, of course. It's just if I knew anything, I would tell you. I just have no fucking idea where you could be.
So I know
she
that.
Could be.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Or any idea where she could be. I said they, but
yeah,
he's here. Dude, was there any the video footage that was caught at the church? What exactly was seen? I've heard from other people, but I just.
Do you know much?
It looked like someone age that walked by, but it's inconclusive. Right, it was too grainy. It was the video was not. You couldn't determine who it was in the video, pretty much. So we don't know that she walked by that church.
I did a lot of flowers in the background images because I wanted to give her flowers as much as I could. That's why there's a lot of flowers in the images.
So the last person, Stefan.
Yeah. So we want to know because he's the last person to see her. He claims to have dropped her off at this church before school. Unfortunately,
close to the church.
We're close to the church. Unfortunately, we know she doesn't go to school that day. You try and go pick her up.
Her voice got high then when they're talking about Stefan. He said he dropped her off at the church, and then her voice finally got high, and there was some emotion in it, close to the church, she says. No emotion about the pictures and what's been going on to her daughter, but when they talk about Stefan and misspeak about where he dropped her off, then she gets emotion in her voice. Like, come on.
Would it, after Stefan dropped her off, did he come back home? About how long was he gone for during drop off?
I want to say from 8:30 to like 10:15 because around 10:15 or 10:20 is when I got a phone call stating that he got home. He had gone to the vape shop,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if they weren't open or not yet. So
Mm-hmm.
he left
Okay.
and then hung out around the house, waited till I got back for my doctor's appointment.
So he came back home.
Yeah, he did come back home.
Okay.
He grabbed his phone and called me from the house at that point. He had let me know that he accidentally left his phone. He was waiting for the vape store to open, but they never opened, or something like that. And then he went back home just to give it time, and then he went back out later.
Okay. So from 8:30 to 10:15, that's when he's saying the vape shop was closed and he came back home.
I think so. Something. I mean, I know he was killing time. He does this. He'll just like to aimlessly drive around to kill time. I believe him when he says that he was killing time. Or at least I did believe him.
What's like usually how long does it take to go do her drop off and come back?
Like 45 minutes.
Okay. So
45, 50 minutes.
So give or take an hour.
Yeah.
So he should have been back home by like 9:30ish.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there's like 45 minutes to 30 minutes of a gap in time there.
Yeah.
Where could he have gone?
He says he was driving around aimlessly, just killing time.
Okay. So then he comes home, let's just say around 10:15 is what you're saying. What time did you get home from your doctor's appointment?
I'm gonna say somewhere between 11 and 11:20.
And then did he leave again?
Yes.
How do you know he was home? Because you got the call.
Because I got the call and I think I saw him when I got home.
Okay. And then what time did he leave again to go to the vape shop?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what time he left.
And then
I think during that time when he's driving around aimlessly is where they later find the video footage of him pulling into the parking garage at whatever hotel it was and then removing her from the front seat to the back seat, right? Because he had to leave with her, supposedly sleeping in the front seat and come back without her. So when he came back and then left to go to the vape shop, I think is when she was in the trunk. And then he went to the vape shop, and I'm not sure when he actually went out there to do what he did.
And then
Oh, actually, hold on, let me think.
As far as placing her body where it was found.
do you guys have a Ring at your house? A Ring doorbell? Do you have any video doorbell system? Do you have any cameras in the house?
No. I'm gonna say he left around somewhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, because I remember looking at the time going, I don't think he's gonna be done in time running his errands to be back by 2:30 when I need to leave to go.
Okay.
And he said he ran his errands. He stopped at a few comic shops or game stores or something like that. Then he got a flat tire somewhere on 182. He doesn't remember exactly where. I remember him telling me he hurt himself changing the spare tire.
How did he hurt himself?
Something slipped while he was doing something with what's the crank that pops up that brings
The
up-
lift or
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
the
talking about.
jack?
Something slipped and his finger got caught between the frame and the jack, I think. So
Okay.
he had to pull out his finger. So I know he's got a Band-Aid on his finger right now because of that.
'So what time do you leave the house to go?
2:30.
2:30?
Yeah, she gets that at 4. It takes me about 20 minutes to get to school, and then I wait about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, for the car line and everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like to be the first in line.
So at what point did you think something's up?
Around 4:10, when she did not come out of school, and I was the first in line. I was holding up the line. I'm the first in line, and there's cars behind me, and they already have their kids.
Right.
So when I noticed she had not come out, I drove away thinking, maybe I missed her. maybe I forgot to tell her that I was picking her up from school today because I have a new work schedule.
Mhm.
So
What do you do for work again? I'm sorry.
I work at Walt Disney World, front desk concierge at Coronado Springs.
Okay.
I just recently, that's the biggest reason I even called Stefan, was to come help me this week with her getting her to school, helping with the dog. That's the whole reason I even called him, was to come help me.
And what car did he come up in from down there in?
In his dad's Cadillac.
So you kind of get some concerns when she's not coming out.
She's not coming out, so I drove off along the same path she would have walked. I didn't see her. Is she here yet? She goes, no. And I said, oh, maybe I missed her. Maybe
Does she sometimes walk home from school?
So here comes Jenny Jen, my mod, with the info because she's so great. She said, I think the placing of Madeline was after 12:30. So between that hour and a half, Madeline was still in the trunk. Right. Jen's the best mod. She always knows everything off the top of her head. I'm so grateful for her. Thank you, Jen, for that.
She does.
Two. And then you pick her up from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't make it. So I drove back to I think at this point I had called her best friend to ask because I went to pick her up from school and I didn't see her.
Right.
And she said, no, she never made it to first or second period.
Okay.
And I was like, can you please check with the other friends to see if she made it to her other periods?
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point I emailed her teacher.
Right. Snapchat?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. She just has an Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. So, office, you realize she's not there either. Is this when you go home?
No, I go back to the school drive the path again to see if I missed her. And then I go back to the school to check their attendance because her friends are telling me she never made it. But when I got to the school was already closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove back. I think at this point I had gotten a response from one of her teachers telling me she never made it to my period. And then he checked the attendance for the rest of the day. She never made it to any of the periods.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is when I start to panic and freak out because I know something is wrong. Sorry, I just thought about that image.
It's okay. Take your time. What was Stefan's reaction when you?
I called him and I said, she never made it to school. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, she got dropped off. I was like, you dropped her off? She never made it to school.
Mm-hmm.
I said, please come to the office right now. He goes, okay, I'm heading there right now. So he called out.
So she misspeaks. He says she got dropped off. You dropped her off. Which again makes me question, did she know already? Because she's repeating the story that she's played over and over in her head and trained herself to say, and then she realizes she's speaking about like how she was talking to Stefan, and quickly fixes it and says, you were supposed to drop her off, or you dropped her off. I mean, I don't know.
Called out him to the office.
And you're driving your car and he was driving his car?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he made it to the office and then we where she might be.
Mm-hmm.
We were both sitting there pretty upset, pretty distraught, just thinking of the worst case scenarios. Eventually, we found out that there were also 2 other missing children in the area, and that all the cops had gone to a park. So one of my family members went to the park to speak to an officer, to try to get an officer to come back to the office, and he did. And then he took a report.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 7:30, I think.
Monday night?
Yeah.
And what's Stefan's kind of demeanor been since then?
He's been absolutely a mess.
Do you think he would ever hurt?
I don't think he would. No.
Okay. Understand.
Like I believe you when you talk to me about those images.
Mhm.
Those images might be real, or they've happened, but I don't believe they're related to this case. I don't think.
It's been going on. It's been going on. Like, and I wish I could say, you know, it's not true. It's not. I mean, we have images. We have them. I looked at them.
So again, she states that I know that you have images, but I don't think they're related to this case. Again, making me think that she knew. Your reaction is not accurate for somebody who didn't know, and you can't fake a genuine reaction. She's tripping up because she can't fake it.
This goes all the way back to 2022. Some of those pictures. I understand it's a lot to take in right now. I can only imagine what you're going through, but we need to know literally everything. I mean, at the end of the day, like I've told you many, many times, the sheriff's office main goal here, we want to find and bring her back home. That's what we want. But we need your help. We can only do so much. You're with her on a daily basis. You understand everything. But at the end of the day, we just need to know. Did he make any mention of going anywhere, taking her somewhere when he came into town? I know you said they like to play games together.
No, he wasn't taking her going.
Okay. And prior to coming up Sunday, when's the last time he's been here?
I'm gonna say it's been over a month.
Has she ever made any comments to you about sex or anything like that? Being abused or anything like that? Hold on 1 second.
Sorry, just 1 second.
1 second.
I'm going to try to move this forward a little bit if I can. We'll just speed it up while they're out of there until they come back in. Usually if they step out, it takes a minute for them to get back in there. All right,
So
sounds
I'm
like
a little miscommunication here, but a Kissimmee police officer detective is going to come speak to you about everything that we just talked about. Okay. So they're going to come talk to you with Orange County Detective. So I don't want to go too much further into it with you because they're going to go a little bit deeper. They know a lot more than I do. Okay. So they'll be able to explain a little bit more to you. Is that fair? In the meantime, do you need to use the bathroom or anything? It's okay. Take your time. Do you need any more water? Okay.
I think they're bringing in another officer to gauge her reaction again when she's like sees it and is confronted with it, because she's not having the correct reaction as a mother who just found that out, and the cops picked up on it immediately. Okay, thank you, Jenny.
Are they coming here to interview?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you're not going to have to go anywhere.
What was that? Sound like a fart. Like, I'm scared to skip it because I don't want us to miss any of the quiet parts. Ah,
I don't want to see those images.
I might speed it up a little bit.
Proof evidence, but like I don't
Hang on,
feel
didn't mean to do that.
traumatized forever, so I'm not sure what to do.
Oh, no.
It's okay. And the Kissimmee detective, we'll go over everything with you, okay?
Like, because they have the pictures. They could show her right now, but they're bringing somebody else in. For what reason? My guess is to gauge her reaction. Because they're like, she's not having the correct reaction as somebody who just found this out. She's acting like she already knew. And I agree. I think she's acting like she already knew too.
Can I get you anything? How long you been working at Coronado Springs for?
Less than 2 weeks.
Oh, so you just started there?
Yeah.
Are you just like in training, or how does it work? What'd you do before that?
I was a substitute teacher for a little bit, but for the most part, for the last few years, I've just been living off disability.
Okay.
We got a spoiler alert. So Jenny says during the second half, I believe she's asked if she wants to press charges on Steppen, and the fact that she debates it tells me a lot. Yeah, I haven't listened to all of this. So yeah, again, that's gonna let us know if she's trying to debate them about pressing charges, how she really feels about the fact that all that was happening. And it's not that it's a bad thing. I think she even states that the what he was doing to her child is not evil, but him killing her was evil. So again, that's also telling me what you think about what was happening and how much you really knew. I was just about to try to skip ahead a little bit.
I'll be right back.
Try to speed it up. I have to keep it right here so that if um they come back in, I can put it back on normal. So I got at 2 times the speed right now, just trying to get us through this part.
It's your head.
Oh, just a lot of anxiety. Just thinking about how he didn't know, how he didn't see anything.
That sounds like an excuse. Like she's making excuses. Sweetheart, you don't have to clean that up right now. We can clean it up later. You don't have to clean that up right now. We can clean it up later. It's okay. It's gonna be messy when you're making, like, using flour and things. We can clean it up later, or you can clean it up now. But if you don't want to, it's okay. All right, I'm gonna try to speed it up again. This picture is Stefan. He's holding an actual, like a what you would go to the like Adam and Eve and buy, and so I just wrote the word there, but I had to like that picture's on the internet. Like I had to actually erase what he's holding in his hand to put the picture on here. Like and you could say, okay, well he's just trying to be funny, it looks like a Halloween costume. Okay, fine, but what party have you ever
Let's
been
say
to that
all the sexual stuff did happen, or we know it happened. What if he's telling the truth about dropping her off and driving away and driving around in circles and getting to the vape shop? Is there video evidence of him in front of the vape store? Because I know there's banks around.
ah whoa, Nelly, hold on. My computer just went crazy. Nope, not today. Thank you. Lordy.
Referring to Orange County case.
We'll get it right back.
Right in that same plaza, there must, in an Amscot, there must be video of him pulling into that plaza and waiting.
Back it up just a smidge. But what I was saying about his little outfit or costume or whatever, like I've never been, even when I was a teenager, I've never been to a Halloween party where a guy walked around with a fake phallic symbol and was just like, you could, the old phrase, rock out with your out, but it still doesn't make sense. Like, why are you in a prison uniform walking around with a fake thing? Like, it's just gross. Like, I've never seen somebody do that personally. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's something normal that was happening at the time. He's actually only about a year older than me. So I never saw nothing like that. And if I had seen somebody walking around like that, I would have made it a point to stay away from them because that's just weird. All right, I'm going to hush so we can hear what she's saying.
let's say all the sexual stuff did happen, or we know it happened. What if he's telling the truth about dropping her off and driving away and driving around in circles and getting to the vape shop? Is there video evidence of him in front of the vape store? Because I know there's banks around, right in that same plaza. There must, and an Am stop. There must be video of him pulling into that plaza and waiting.
I'm over here talking away. So she states so casually, let's say that we know about the CSA, or we know, trying to fix it real quick. What the fuck do you mean? Like, you just admitted that you knew about that. That you knew about the CSA stuff, but you are trying to figure out if he had the capacity or capabilities to actually murder her. What the hell do you mean? Like, I don't understand. You're not going to just casually say, let's say that we know about the CSA stuff, and then start talking about him going to a vape store and plazas and Target and shit. Like, that's not how that works. If you really are unknowing of what has been going on, there's no way that you're just going to casually, oh, let's say we know about it. Yeah, because you do, bitch. Because you fucking do.
What do you mean? What's your question?
If you guys have found evidence of him being in front of the store like he said he was, like, it's possible that his story might be true and somebody else could have taken her. Like, I'm just thinking, like, what if we're focusing, like, okay, the sex things happened, right? But what if that's completely a side thing and not having to do with this, like her missing?
Yeah.
What if
I got you.
else?
So just like Detective Khalees explained, that's why the Kissimmee detective and the Orange County detective are going to come and talk to you about it. Obviously, it's two different things that we're talking about, but they may be tied together. They may not. We're not sure. But that's why we want to talk to you and get as much information as possible. That's what the detectives are going to come and talk to you and, try to help us out. Get as much information.
Am I allowed to talk to my sister right now?
Right now, just hang on for right now, until after they're done.
I think I'm at the press conference, but I'm not. Can you tell me? You weren't there. I just want to know what was said at the press conference. What did I miss?
They'll let you know. What are you worried about that you missed?
Nothing.
When you take into account, like, the thing, like, that he, like, walked around the house and maybe said things that kind of would have made a normal person be like, did he really just say that to my child? Or looked at her a certain way. Like, if your man's looking at somebody or something like that, and then they're sleeping, and I just really think that there's no way she couldn't have known. Like, that Stefan said something at some point at Madeline that just made her question, like, did he really just say that to her? I think, and it's appalling how casually she's like, let's say we know about the CSA. That doesn't mean that he basically killed her. There's no way you're that casual about it. You just admitted to knowing, in my opinion. And I don't know what else to do with that other than say you just admitted that you 100% knew, in my opinion.
Something, just if there's a new piece of information that I haven't heard or something. But I know you guys are keeping me in the loop as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep hoping. Just hoping she's still out there and she's still alive. I don't think Stefan would have done anything to her. But
I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit. Not pause it. I got it sped up to 2 times. So that we can get through the quiet parts.
I was hoping to have an appointment
Ah.
today at 5:30. I was staying at work a little later. I was wondering if I could cancel it. Okay, thank you. It's under Lewis at 5:30. All right, thank you.
I look at this picture here where she's painting one of his little things or whatever. I mean, even at this young, look at her face and her hands and the size of her body and even the little shirt she says on that says "Be the best." And it's probably got some little cat or dog or frog or something like that on it. Like, she looks like a child. And it was going on when she was this age. When she was this age right here. I mean, that is a baby. You can even compare it to this picture. This picture, she looks a little bit older, but still very much a child. But here, she's so young. And it was going on even at that point. It's a monster. I think Jen knew. I know she knew. There's no fucking way she didn't. And I think that Stefan somehow convinced her that they had a relationship and that he loved her and that they were going to get married when they grow up. I think that's why she brings up the Woody Allen reference. Because when Madeline got old enough, they were going to go off and get married.
Text from Stephen's dad asking where he could, because I guess he was at the conference.
Mhm.
Now he's just waiting.
Let me back that
Okay.
up just a
He's asking where he
smidgen.
could wait.
He can wait either in the front lot.
I just got a text from Stephen's dad asking where he could, because I guess he was at the conference.
Mhm.
Now he's just waiting.
Okay.
He's asking where he could wait.
He can wait either in the front lot. Sorry, it's the west lobby. So it's the one where the big flagpoles are in. It's the main entrance. Or he can wait in the car.
In the west lobby, the main entrance with all the flags.
Yeah. Yeah, with the big flagpoles. It's the one that says Orange County Sheriff's Office right at the front. It's on the easiest way to find it. It's on the Colonial Drive side.
Is Colonial Drive this road right here?
It's not the one that you guys came through. It's the other one, the one that goes east to west.
That's where he is. What's the other?
So I'm trying to finish my statement. I think that he had convinced Jennifer that he loved Maddie and was going to marry her someday. And I think Madeline was growing up and starting to not like that anymore and not want that to be her entire life. And she didn't know how to tell her parents that she didn't want to sleep with her stepfather anymore. And I think that's why there was a lot of arguing and hostility between Jen and Madeline, in my opinion. And that's what makes me think that maybe the motive was that she had a crush, because Stefan got angry in a fit of rage, thinking that he's groomed this baby and going to marry her. And all of a sudden, the baby that he groomed is saying, no, I don't want this anymore. Or she could have been with child. But I think it was more, I don't know. I mean, I'm caught up between the two. Because, like, if she had a crush and he got angry at her and was like, no, you're mine. I'm supposed to marry you. We've had this plan since you were 8 years old or whatever. You're mine. And in a fit of rage did something. Or maybe he found out she was pregnant or something. Either way, the dynamic's freaking weird. Referencing the Woody Allen situation, I mean, I think she references that because she told herself, well, Woody Allen did it, so I guess they can do it, right? Like, if Woody Allen did it, then why can't they do it? That's just my opinion, though. Like, my banner says at the bottom, everything I say is my opinion. Try to speed it up again, not pause it. She's texting the hell out of somebody. Like, you ain't got to tell Stefan's dad that much about where to park. Good Lord. This picture right here is the one that I love of her. That's my favorite picture, with her little gingham print dress and her glasses. She looks so cute. So beautiful. She's just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And I really hope she knows she was.
There we go. Hello, my name is Mark.
All right.
I work with the Kissimmee Police Department. Okay, great.
Thank you. That's your work phone?
No.
Is that what?
But that's the.
Okay, thank you.
So the reason I am here, or we are here, is because we think when it went missing, you live in our city limits. Okay. So that's the reason we got involved now. Okay, you understand?
Yeah.
All right, so I understand you probably answered a lot of questions and you've got a lot of stuff going on. I am apologizing now. I may ask you the same things that you've already been asked. That's just because I like to hear it for myself. Okay, and I know you've been speaking with her quite a bit, but we want to do what we can as soon as possible. Okay, so that's our main focus right now. All right. So, but before I get started, your first name is Jennifer, right?
Yeah.
And your last name is?
Soto.
So, What's your telephone number?
718
Okay.
938
Okay.
1553.
And you live.
I didn't realize that her number was not redacted. They redact her address and things, which her address is actually already out there. But if anybody's watching this live or on the replay, don't call this woman. She probably changed her phone number by now anyway, but please don't ever do things like that. It's just weird.
What apartment number is that?
Building.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, and once again, I apologize. So on Monday, you've gone to school. Is that right? Okay. So tell me how that morning went. Actually, let's go the night prior.
Okay.
So
night prior, she had a birthday party. I couldn't be there because I was at work.
where do you work at?
Disney World. I'm front desk at Coronado Springs.
Okay.
She had a birthday party. She had a good time. She spent the entire time with my family. Later that evening around 8:30, my sister dropped her off at my house. And she started getting ready for bed, or doing her nighttime routine, which is take her meds and get in the shower. About 10 minutes after she arrived, Stefan arrived, and he let me know that she was doing what she was supposed to be doing. He arrived. He made sure she was doing what she needed to be doing. I got home around 10:30 and saw that she was almost ready for bed. I ate. We talked for a little bit. Asked how the birthday party was, to show me her gifts, how everything went, and then she went to bed.
And this is around, you said around 10:30 she went to bed?
Around 11.
11, okay.
At this point, I sent them. We have 2 bedrooms. We're a 4-bedroom townhouse, but there's a bedroom and a guest bedroom.
Okay.
I sent them upstairs to the guest bedroom because I had not slept well the night before. I had forgotten my psychiatric meds and I was feeling off. I was not feeling okay. So when I got home from work, I said, guys, I needed a good night's sleep. They all wanted to sleep in my bed, all 3 of us together.
Okay. Is that normal?
Yeah, for us to do that, yeah.
Okay.
When he sleeps with me, if he's around.
When she's talking about that being normal, I have to wonder, because again, going on the premise that she knew something, because I don't know how in the hell she didn't, especially with what she just said a minute ago. I'm wondering if things happened with all 3 of them in the bed. As sick as that sounds, it's a question I have to ask in this case. It's weird. Shh.
He's around, he'll sleep upstairs
stop
sometimes in
saying
the guest
names.
bedroom
Not
or
muted.
with us in our bed. But the 3 of us on my bed is pretty uncomfortable. It's a king. Sleeps like a monkey. She just kicks and punches.
Mine are too, I know.
Yeah. Chill up on one side and wake up on the other. It's just, yeah. So I asked them to sleep upstairs that night to give me a good night's sleep. And they said, okay, they would. And from what as far as I'm aware, they went upstairs. They went to sleep. I was woken up around, I want to say 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday by Stefan trying to put the leash on the dog to walk him. And I got up to try to help him with it, but Stefan got it and walked him and told me to go back to bed. So I went back to bed.
Okay.
I heard people in the kitchen. I'm not sure exactly who, because I do have roommates and they're up at all hours. So I heard somebody in the kitchen. For school.
I'm sorry, it's hard to hear her. I've tried to turn it up as much as I can.
Nightstand. I know she walked into the kitchen, into her bedroom to get ready and all that, because she left her phone on her dresser in her bedroom. And I know she did that while she was getting ready that morning.
Now, what is considered her bedroom? Where?
In the living room.
Okay.
We've got like a little wall partition, and she's got a bedroom in the living room. It's got a bed, a dresser, a desk, and a TV. She doesn't
That shit is weird to me. I'm trying to listen to her explanation of Madeline's room.
Sleep there though. She just hangs out there during the day. That's her space. She'll hang out there. But yeah, she got ready, supposedly, and they were off. They left to school early. I'm not sure what time they left.
What time does her school start, do you know?
She's got to be at school at the latest by 9:28.
So again, I have to look at things from all perspectives. And if it was me, okay, and my child was not sleeping in her own bed, I don't know why you're renting out rooms, but for whatever reason, you need money that bad that you're renting out rooms, okay. If she's actually not sleeping in the bed, then I could kind of understand it, but I would still have her dresser in my room. Or making sure I might put her dresser in like a thing like that, but I would make sure that my daughter was not changing in that area with all people in the house behind just a piece of like partition that you could see through. I think it has like holes in it, if I'm not mistaken. I'll look for the picture real quick, but I could kind of see it if she never ever sleeps in her bed. But at this age, again, I would have tried to be like, okay, you're old enough to be sleeping in your own bed. You got to, I don't know what we need to do. Do you need some stuffed animals or something? Do you need some white noise machine? I'd be trying to figure out something to get her in her own bed. Um, Maybe it was more convenient for Jen if she did keep her room like that and didn't have her in her bed. I don't know. I mean, the whole situation. I mean, and then you could go into, well, did she even want her to be in her own bed or did she want her in her bed with her and Stephen? I mean, it's just, there's so many questions I have.
Do you know what time her school starts?
9:28.
Okay. Okay.
From what I was told, he dropped her off somewhere between 8:30 and 8:45, or somewhere along that line, around that time.
And Stephen told you this?
Actually, that timeline might be from what the cameras, the church cameras you guys have told me about, but we don't know if that was really her, so I'm not sure about the timeline anymore. He said he went, I think he had given me a timeline of, he dropped her off somewhere between 8:20 and 8:45, but he's not sure exactly what time.
Okay.
He said they were making good time that morning. He was like super impressed with how quickly she got up, got ready, and was out the door. I know she wanted to meet up with her friends at school early. And I know
Did she tell you that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know she wanted McDonald's early that morning for breakfast.
Mhm.
But Stephen said she was asleep in the car for the majority of the car ride, and he kept trying to talk to her and talk her into getting McDonald's.
Mhm.
But she kept saying, no, just drop me off.
Okay.
So this is where she got dropped off somewhere on the road, close to school, and I don't know what happened to her. But this is what I was being told happened that morning.
Gotcha. And then you went to pick her up after school.
I'm
Is that
getting the
right?
files right now.
I left the house at
Her room.
2:30. School does not let out till 4 o'clock, but it takes me about 20 minutes to drive, 25 minutes.
Mhm.
And then I make that hour outside. I like being the first car in line. I like being the first.
Through the line, if you know.
Exactly. So I like, I waited that hour and something minutes for 4 o'clock to show. 4:04 is when the bell rings. Waited there until like 4:10 and she didn't come out. That only sounds like a few minutes, but in those few minutes, the cars behind me got full of children. I'm the first in line, so there's cars behind me already picking up the children. They're waiting to get out. So I felt pressured and rushed. So I decided to drive away. I'm like, she's not here. Something's wrong. Or maybe I forgot to tell her that I was picking her up. Maybe she just decided to walk. She'll do this sometimes. This is pretty close to the school. So I decided to drive along the path that she would have walked. And I asked, has she made it? And they said, no.
Sorry, I'm talking away. I said I'm not sure how that works and if you could still hear that. So I'm going to pause that for a minute while we look at her room. So we'll start with the this one and then we'll go back. Let me share this tab instead. Let me give it a second to load. I've got like a bunch of pages. Wait a second. So these are going to be pictures of Maddie's room. Now you see this partition here, that's what I was talking about, and then that's her bed. It does look like the little holes are closed because I was talking about how there's holes in the partition or whatever, but it's still this is living. You can see through that. See, there's the holes right there. You can see right through that, and we know from the other pictures of the phone sitting underneath the crack of the door that Stephen was in the peep and weird. I don't know. I still wouldn't be comfortable with it like being right there by the living room and things. Lordy, lordy. Hold on. My computer froze. So yeah, that's her bed. I try to look at it from all perspectives, but I don't know. It's weird. If you needed money, she never slept in her bed. Maybe you could do something like this just for like kind of as a place for her to keep her things. But again, at this age, why are you not working on getting her in her own bed, you know? So I'm going to exit out of all of these computer go crazy and we'll go ahead and get this going back. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Hold on, y'all. My computer has lost its mind for a second.
Where she would be walking.
All right.
And I waited there for about 15 minutes and nothing. She didn't appear. At this point, I returned back to the office. She should have been at the office by this point. It's like 4:35.
Mm-hmm.
She did not appear. So at this point, I call her best friend and I asked her best friend, with you, I don't think I told her I was coming to pick her up, but she's not walking or she's not at school. And she said,
so that's a great question, Jen. Jen says if that, oh, I meant to show it, sorry. If that's her hangout spot, then why didn't the bed get moved into Jen's room? That is a great question. And that's another way that she could have got her to start sleeping in her own bed. She could have said, okay, I'm going to put your bed in here with me, and then you start sleeping in your bed. And even then, like, that solves the problem of you not wanting her in your bed. Like, she's in your room with you in her own bed. Problem solved. Never ever has to be around Stephen or alone in the bed. That's a great question, Jenny. And yeah, that would have been the best option. But if we're trying to look at it from the perspective of she needs money, so she's renting out the rooms and Madeline doesn't sleep in her bed anyway, if you're looking at it from that perspective, yeah, the better decision would have been to put her bed in Jen's room. And then just work on trying to get her to sleep in there or whatever, especially with the clothes and things. Though the clothes bothers me. Like, you could store her clothes in that room, but you can see straight through the partition. And when you're going out and shopping for some kind of partition to go, because you know that's what you're going to do, why are you going to get one with holes in it? If you couldn't find one except for one that has holes in it, it's not hard to put some kind of shower curtain or like little curtain panels behind the hole so you can't see directly through the holes. Like, what? There's just so much with this case. It's just weird. There's only so many times I could say, well, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, before it's just like, okay, this is just blatantly obvious that you're aware and maybe not participating, but allowing it to happen. I mean, it's just, there's no other way. There's no other excuse. I can't. I mean, I can't, you know, it's freaking weird.
No, she never made it to first or second period. And I said, what do you mean she got dropped off? And she's like, she never made it to first or second period. I said, can you please check with your other friends to see if she made it to her other periods? At this point, I start panicking and I drive back to the school to check her.
Just because it's going to drive me crazy, I know that that's spelled wrong. Phallic is Phallic. I spelled it wrong first. It took me a minute, and then in the other pictures it's correct. I think this thumbnail I hadn't realized that I spelled it wrong yet, because that's going to drive me nuts.
Her attendance, but the school office had already closed. So
What time was this?
This is around 4:45.
Okay.
And
the school was closed already?
Okay. I think they closed at like 4:30. I went to the school, I rang the bell, they were closed, nobody was opening the door. So we decided to leave, but I had already emailed one of her teachers. I think when I had spoke to her best friend, I had emailed the teacher. The teacher confirmed that she never made it to his period and never made it to any of her other periods that day. He checked her attendance for the whole day. When he told me this, I realized something was really wrong. It's truly wrong. A panic attack.
And what time was this?
I'm gonna say around 4:45, 4:50.
Okay.
And yeah, I called Stefan. I asked Stefan, I'm like, did you drop her off? He said, yeah, why? I'm like, she never made it to school. He's like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, I don't know, just she's not here, she's not here. And he drove immediately to the office and then waited with me. I was having a panic attack, trying to stay calm, but it was really hard. I think we waited about 3 hours for the police to show up. I think 2 children had gone missing around the same time in a park nearby, so all the cops were answering that call. Eventually, a family member went over to the park and spoke to an officer and let him know, hey, there's another missing child. Please come take the report. So they followed him and brought him to the office, and then he took down our statements and made the report, and then the process started. They were there for, I'm gonna say 1 to 2 hours, and then it was time to go home.
Okay. So ever since then, since the officer took the report, or the deputy took the report, have you been looking for? You've been driving around?
I've been staying at home just in case she comes home.
Okay.
My family, I have a huge family. They've been driving around. They've been walking the walking path behind the school. They've been handing out. They've handed out like 1,000 flyers already. They're the ones who contacted the news.
Has she gone missing before?
Never.
She never ran away, even if it's for a couple hours or anything like that? Okay. So when you physically or talked to her, it was the night before. Yes. Is that right? Okay. And how was she then? What was her demeanor?
Happy. She had the best birthday party. She loved her presents, her gifts. She had a lot of money. So she was showing me all that.
Okay. So how was her sleeping habits? I know you said she was up and at 'em in the morning. Is she, because some kids like to sleep all day, some kids get up and then they're ready to go. What's she like?
So when she sleeps with me and I have to wake her up, she's difficult. She'll snooze 3-4 times. We'll hit the alarm a few times, let it ring, and then go back to sleep. And let it ring and go back to sleep. When it's her waking up herself and she sets her own alarms on her phone, which is what I think she did that morning, she usually gets up pretty quickly. She doesn't snooze. She'll get up, she'll immediately go do what she needs to do, and then she'll either lay back down in bed and snooze until it's time to go, or yeah, just be ready to go.
Do you take her to school? Okay. When you take her to school, where do you drop her off at?
At the school.
Okay, so you pull in through the line and drop her off at the front and stuff like
Yeah.
that. When she goes to school, when you take her to school, is she talkative in the car, or what does she do on the way there?
Not really. She'll be on her phone. We'll listen to the radio station, or listen to some Taylor Swift. Yeah, she's pretty quiet. Or she'll be.
She's a
singing.
Swiftie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So going back to Stefan, was Stefan at the birthday party?
No.
No, okay.
He was traveling from Northport, Florida to Kissimmee.
Where's North?
So yeah, I noticed that she didn't make the phone calls. She didn't look for Maddie because again, I have to question, did she already know? And she was concerned about how she would sound or if it'd be noticeable that she already knew. So she had her mom call. I think it's her mom and her cousin or sister, or it's either her, I know her mom called 911 and then either the sister or a cousin called again. And yeah, she's not looking for Maddie. All of those things, you have to take that into account too. It's weird. And I could say, well, maybe she, was so distraught that she couldn't make the phone calls. Like we have with the Sebastian Rogers case. I genuinely believe that Katie was really distraught. That's why Chris called on three-way. But she's not distraught. Like if anything, Jennifer Soto is emotionless, not too emotional. So it's not that she was too distraught. Even looking at her pictures from the police station that are going to be popping up here in a minute on my background, I've not seen her cry. I've heard her cry in one interview, the one we did where she's got immunity. But other than that, it's all fake, it seems like. Her trying to fake emotions that she knows she should have, but doesn't because she already knows what's going on. She already knows everything.
Northport.
Sarasota County.
Oh, okay. And he got here when?
So if she got dropped off around 9:30, 8:30, he probably showed up around 8:45.
Did you know he was coming?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys hung out? What did you guys do that
him.
night? Okay.
Yeah. What did we do that night? I only spent about 30 minutes with them because I had to go to sleep. I had to take my meds and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they need to go to sleep because they have to go to school, or she had to go to school. I usually like making bedtime around 10:30. So when I got there and she was still up, I understood why she was still up. She was waiting for me and wanted to show me all her presents and stuff. By 11, I was just like, you guys need to go to bed. It's late. Like, it's super late.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I don't know what I was gonna say.
Is it normal if he comes to see you that he or
Yes, it's normal for him to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom.
okay? What makes it different from when he sleeps with or the three of you or upstairs by himself?
It all depends on the circumstance of what's going on. For the most part, if it's a school week and school, I send them upstairs because I know that my alarms are going to go off multiple times super early in the morning and I don't want to wake him up.
Wait a minute.
So I have to
Wait a minute.
constantly shaking her.
She talks about Madeline's alarm going off before her alarm goes off in the other interview, because she talks about Madeline's alarm will go off and then Madeline will get up and start getting ready while Jen's still sleeping. And now she's talking about she sent them upstairs because her alarms go off super early and she doesn't want to wake her up. But Madeline's alarms go off before Jen's alarms go off. So that doesn't make any sense.
So I, for the most part, it's downstairs and he goes upstairs.
What made it different that night? For
The fact that I forgot my bipolar meds Saturday night
mm-hmm.
and I was not acting normal Sunday. And I realized Sunday night, oh my God, I forgot my meds Saturday night, which is why I've been so freaking weird today.
Mhm.
I'm like, I need to take these meds and I need to sleep. I need like a good night's sleep. I can't wake up early in the morning. I can't take her. I can't do any of that. Like, I need you to do it.
Mhm.
That's primarily the
See?
reason I told him to
See,
come.
she just talked about my alarms go off early in the morning and I didn't want to wake him up. But now she's talking about Madeline's alarms go off super early and I can't get up. I need you to get up and take her to work. So she just got caught in a lie, and the police picked up on it if I did.
From Northport, Florida to help me was this week because of training at work. I needed help. I needed support. So I invited him up to help me with that.
What about Maddie needing help and support? Where was her help and support? Asking for a friend.
Did you work on Monday?
No, I was off.
You were off, okay. So Monday during the day, what'd you do throughout the day?
I had a blood work appointment at 10:15, 10:30. That took a little while to be seen.
Did Stephen go with you?
No. He was not home he had not gotten home by the time I left.
Do you remember what time you left?
Around, I think 9:30.
And where was your blood work at?
About 15 minutes away.
Which way, towards Kissimmee or Orlando?
Towards Orlando. It's on the border of Kissimmee, Orlando. It's in the loop. It's across the street from the loop. There's a doctor plaza there. There's a LabCorp there. So I went to LabCorp and I got blood work there.
Okay.
Waited there for a while. Then I must have gotten home sometime between, I would say 11:15, 11:30, something like that, or from 11 to 11:30 sometime. And he was there. But before that, while I was at my blood work appointment, he actually called me. He said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I left my phone at home. I was running some errands. This morning, we made super great time. She got ready super fast. We left super early. I offered her McDonald's multiple times, but she refused.
Yep, needed help on her
she
day
asked to be
off.
dropped off
Exactly.
early.
Jenny.
And so he did.
Does she ever go to school?
Give me a
Does she ever
break.
ask to go? Because sometimes kids don't want to go to school, period. Is
Yeah.
it normal for her to ask to be dropped off early?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay.
She's asked me multiple times to ask her to drop her off early. She wants to meet up with her friends, or she wants to get there earlier and earlier, just to meet up with her friends.
But you still drop her off at the school?
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you to those of you who are here watching, and thank you to those of you who are watching the replay. I appreciate you being here, and hope that you enjoy this information I've got. I've got several more requests out that I'm waiting to hear back on. The main one I'm really waiting to hear back on is about Elijah Vu. I have submitted several requests about the Elijah Vu situation. So I'm waiting on stuff back about that. So, yeah, hopefully I'll have some more stuff out soon. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. And thank you, Jenny Jen, to my mod. She's amazing.
So she hangs out with her friends within the school?
Yes.
Okay.
The only reason I think he did not take her to school directly that morning is because she has voiced multiple times, "Hey, is Stefan taking me to school? Can you please drop me off far away?" She's embarrassed by his car. It's a Cadillac. It's not that old, but to her, it's an old hoopty. She can't be seen in it. She doesn't.
Okay, this is another point I have a lot of questions about because, honey, I drove a hoopty. We called it the old gangster Corsica, and that car, like, the steering wheel would not lock. So while I was driving down the road, like, I had to hold the steering wheel in place because it would just fall all the way down. You can move it all the way up and all the way down while you were driving down the road. We started it with a screwdriver. Sometimes the brakes would work. Like, that's a hoopty, okay? Not the car that Stephen Stearns had, okay? I wonder if he didn't want her dropped off at school because she was worried about Stefan seeing her talking to a boy or any male friends that she had. I think that was more of the reason. I don't think it had a damn thing to do with the types of cars he was driving. That none of those cars were a hoopty. And from the first time I heard that statement, I looked at the cars and the vehicles that they've shown that are related to this case. None of those cars are what you would consider a hoopty. I understand that it's Florida and the kids might be, you know, a lot of people might have, I don't know, Lamborghinis or something, depending on what area you live in or whatever, but that's still not hoopties. That was a Lincoln that he was driving, and then another one is a Cadillac. Like, I mean, are the doors painted different colors? Is the bumper missing? You got duct tape around it or something holding up a window? Like, that's a hoopty. Not none of them cars. So the only conclusion I could come from, or, you know, I'm thinking there has to be another reason that she didn't want Stefan to be dropping her off or picking her up. Okay, what could that reason be? Well, I mean, the only thing that makes sense is she didn't want him to see her talking to a boy because she knew it would upset him and she would get fussed at or get in trouble or something like that by probably Jennifer and Stefan, if we take into account her referencing the Woody Allen effect, like my wonderful mod Jenny Jen brought up a couple days ago. You know, I really think that, again, that she was going to let them do that because well, Woody Allen did it, so I guess they can do it too. And Madeline was growing out of it. That's just my opinion. I'm going to hush now and we'll get back to this.
Doesn't want to be seen in it. So she's made that comment before, please drop me off far away. I want to walk.
Mhm.
But yeah. When you look at the car, to me, it looks like a normal. It looks old, but.
Gotcha. Okay, so what?
That's redacted. That's not me. It's a long redaction, evidently, because I'm going to put my mouse here. You can see it still going. I'm scared to skip it ahead because I'm scared we'll miss something. All right, I'm going to speed it up and then try to keep it on normal, so I'm going to mute while I do that.
So
Would you come here? Would you go there?
he would come here. He's only been gone for the last 2 months. So he's come here those few times.
Okay.
It's redacted again. If it keeps redacting or for a long period of time, I'll skip it ahead again. I just don't want us to miss anything important because the redactions, they're talking about Madeline. And I don't want us to miss anything important being said about Madeline, like as an answer to a question or anything, you know.
And then he had told me he was like frustrated, I guess. I'm gonna use the word frustrated.
Okay.
But I know he's had sexual relations with people. I don't know, bothered by that. That's whatever he needs to do. Yeah.
Well, obviously there's a little bit of, actually, I don't want to get to that yet. Who drives your car? Is it-
Primarily me.
Okay.
On Monday night, he drove my car.
Monday night when?
After we went to bed, after the cops had been called and all that, he took my car and decided to drive around to see if he could keep searching for her, looking for her, seeing if there was anything.
What time was that, do you remember?
I don't know. I know he took my car and left because when I got into the front seat of the car had been adjusted.
Mhm.
And he's like, remember I said I was gonna go out? And I'm like, yeah, that's right. You did tell me that you were gonna go out. I just don't remember. He never told me what time or anything. But he did mention earlier Monday, I'm gonna drive around. I can't just sit at home. I need to be looking for her. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine.
You remember if that was in the evening or like sometime before midnight, after midnight?
Oh, before midnight.
Okay.
I go to bed. Well, that was Monday night. Not sure what time I went to bed Monday night. I want to say before midnight because I had to take my meds and I had to go to sleep. They only work if I take them the right way, my meds. So I have to follow a strict routine with them. I'm going to say it was before midnight.
Okay, and then when you got into your car, when you didn't notice that the car was, or the seat was back?
Yesterday, whenever we got kicked out of the house, whenever they told us we couldn't go back in, forensics was coming.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got into the car and I was like, oh, the seat's adjusted. I'm like, did you get in it? He's like, yeah, I took a drive last night, remember? I'm like, oh yeah, you did. You told me that.
So Monday night, did you ever come here to the sheriff's office Monday night? No, okay. Did Stefan come here
I don't think so.
that you know of? Okay. Do you know? Were they talked to here or?
No, they were talked at place of business originally where they did the report.
Mhm.
And then we have been in contact with her at her apartment, but that was after the initial report was made.
That was last night.
Yes. Yesterday, the other detective, Frank, responded around 10 o'clock in the morning and started looking at the school. I'm not sure when the initial contact was made with her. I want to say it was like around 11 or 12, right? At your apartment. And we've been in contact with her since then.
Okay. All right. Now, I understand that a detective recently showed you some pictures of not so pleasant things. Okay. What was discussed at that point?
They asked me if I recognized the penis. In one image I didn't. In the other image, not that I recognized the penis exactly, but I recognized the things around the penis. And
Like what, clothing or?
Clothing and like a pillowcase
Okay.
that was like underneath the penis in the picture. So I recognized that.
Did he explain to you where those images came from?
You said Stefan's one? Is that correct?
Did he explain to you the content of those pictures?
I'm not sure. Just explain that they were in his phone, that there's evidence that they've been sexually active or doing things.
What's Stefan's relationship with? What's their relationship like?
I was gonna say really good, super great. He's always been super sweet and kind to her, very accepting, warming, understanding of her because she's got ADHD, so she's kind of a little, I'll say abnormal. In the sense like she doesn't act like a regular kid, but you have to have extra patience and understanding for her. And he does that really well.
And she now, right, from what I understand?
She just turned
Just, when she's around Stefan, does she act any different?
No, she's happy, just like, hey, how are you? But she doesn't act any differently or weird around him.
There's no really easy way to ask this, but do you think it's possible that Stefan and her are having a sexual relationship?
Before those images, I would have said absolutely not.
That sounds
You're
to me
telling
like she's
that
lying.
on the-
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'll back it up a little bit so we can hear that last little bit she said. But that sounds to me like she's lying. Just the way she responds. Before those images, absolutely not. It's not the response. And they're picking up on that too. It's not the response a mother should have to finding out something like that and seeing pictures like that. No tears, no nothing.
But you have to have extra patience and understanding for her. And he does that really well.
And she now, right, from what I understand?
She just turned
Just, when she's around Stefan, does she act any different?
No, she's happy, just like, hey, how are you? But she doesn't act any differently or weird around him.
There's no really easy way to ask this, but do you think it's possible that Stefan and her are having a sexual relationship?
Before those images, I would have said absolutely not. But if you're telling me that on the other side of that penis that they showed me was her with her mouth, then there's nothing else I can believe that has to be true. But before that evidence, I would have said no.
Has Stefan always been, like, when you guys communicate and talk, or have you ever caught him in any kind of lies or not being truthful or anything like that?
No.
So he's been honest about everything, as far as you know?
As far as I know, yeah. I never had to question. If I've had questions, I've had answers. So it was never, I never suspected anything.
How long have you lived in Kissimmee?
I've lived in that house on and off since 11 months old.
Okay, so. Where else did you live other than that?
For a little while, I moved into my mother's house during COVID.
Where did she live?
In Hunters Creek.
Okay.
And then during COVID, it was another situation where he got promised the job down there and it didn't happen. We moved down there, got an apartment, and lived there for somewhere between 6 to 8 months. And then
Moved down where?
I'm sorry, to Port Charlotte, Florida,
Okay.
which is next to Sarasota County. It's in Charlotte County. We moved down to Port Charlotte during the whole COVID, where everyone was quarantining time. We moved during that time and stayed in Port Charlotte.
What about Stefan? How long has Stefan lived in Kissimmee?
I'll say on and off for 7 years or 6 years. The first he was still staying at his parents.
Where does his parents live?
At the time, they lived in Winter Garden, Florida, but now they live in Northport, Florida. That's who he lived with down there.
Oh, okay. What about family? Any other family around here?
Who, him? No. I think he's got distant relatives, but nobody he's ever talked to like that.
What about friends, or you guys have friends? Are all your friends in Kissimmee?
All of his friends are in Northport, Florida. He made a big group of gaming friends down there. He's got some coworkers he talks to here. But no one I've seen him hang out with lately.
Okay. What about you? Are your friends in Kissimmee or?
Sorry. Do you mind stepping up for a second?
Give me 1 second, okay?
1 second, Jennifer. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
If it keeps on like this, I'm going to speed it up just to get through it. Not pause it. Sorry, I got things going on here at the house. Trying to do like 15 things at once. I didn't mean to be like here, not even talking. So I sped it up 2 times to get through the parts where nobody's speaking. There's some sniffling, but still no crying.
Sorry.
Oh, crap. Hold on a second. I'll have to back it up.
So we were talking about Stefan's relationship with her. And,
Okay.
When, like if you aren't in the same room,
How do we communicate?
like texts.
No, we speak to each other.
Okay, so you call each other on the phone.
If she's in the same room?
No, if you guys aren't in the same room.
Oh.
Like if she's out with her friends or you're at work or.
Call or text, but she's really bad about responding. She'll put her phone on silent or do not disturb.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes she'll respond, sometimes she won't.
Okay.
That's me too.
How do you and Stefan normally communicate?
Via Google Meet, which is the video, not FaceTime, but the video chat for Android.
Okay.
We'll video chat pretty much all day.
Okay. Does Stefan ever talk on the phone?
Yeah.
How do they do that? How do they normally communicate?
Video chat as well.
Okay.
But when she's on video chat, she's video chatting next to me, and we're all part of the conversation. They never go off on by themselves and have their own conversation. It's always all of us together.
Okay. Do they talk quite a bit? You know,
See, well, I'll say yes because we're all in the conversation together and we stay on the phone for hours together. So yeah. But that's all of us together.
got it. Normal times of the day. I know kids sometimes are up late at night talking on the phone or anything like that. If Stefan's in Northport at home or with his parents and you guys are here and you guys are all talking, is it when normal people talk or in the early in the morning or
After school and before bedtime.
okay. Do you know if he has conversations with Stefan outside of your presence? Like, do they talk on the phone?
It's possible, but if I'm at home, I would know.
Gotcha.
Because she's always in my bedroom. She's hanging out in my bedroom or in her space, but I can hear her in her bedroom or I can hear her from my bedroom. So I would know.
Okay. Now this is kind of going to get into a sensitive subject, which I apologize.
Well, she don't seem to
There
care.
were images on his phone.
No emotion
of them
yet.
two being involved in a relationship. Now, has she ever disclosed to you or anything like that? If anything like that has happened between them? No. Okay. Has he ever mentioned to you, like, is he into any kind of, like, does he watch porn or anything that you know of?
I'm sure he does, but
Does he watch it around you or? I know some.
That's redacted. That's not me.
Thing, or does he do that to your phone or anything like that? Okay.
we pretty much respect each other's privacy.
What about his phone? Do you ever go through her phone at all?
Sometimes, but not as much as I should probably. But yeah,
Because you trust her.
Yeah, I've gone through her phone before though.
Okay. Anything abnormal that you would see in her phone?
I thought they said.
No, I'm saying like I've never seen anything.
Gotcha.
No, but I'm saying.
I thought they were saying that Stefan went through her phone, and I was like, "Why is Stefan going through her phone?" Like, Mom usually checks the phone of the child to make sure there's nothing, graphic in there, like what evidently was. I was like, "Why is Stefan doing that?"
If you guys saw something, then I missed it.
No. I'm not saying that we have.
Okay.
No. Stefan's phone is a different story.
Just going back to the comment you made about how you know that he was sexually active with someone else.
It's
And,
redacted.
I found out about it later, but there was a girl he had been hanging out with, a coworker. This is about over a year ago. He started hanging out with a coworker, and I had suspicions that they were sleeping together, but I would ask, and he wouldn't confirm or say anything like that. But he didn't confirm until a few months later that, yeah, they in fact did sleep together. And I was just like, well, okay, good to know. I was just checking to see if I had slept with him after that. And like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to have sex with him after he's had sex with somebody else. So when he told me that, I was just checking with myself to see if that had happened, and it hadn't. So.
And this got brought up on a conversation of you asking him if he was sexually active with someone, something in his phone, or was he texting off to the side?
It was a conversation that we had, and he just told me.
Was it a cordial conversation, or were you guys angry, or?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, when was the last time you guys were sexually active?
December of not December 2023, but December 2022.
Okay.
At that point, I had decided that I wasn't interested in sex. I wasn't.
That's a long period to be with somebody and not be doing anything. Like, I don't know of any man that is going to stay with a woman unless they're married or something, but you know, boyfriend, girlfriend dating, and they're not having relations for that long of a period of time. That I don't know of any man that's going to stay there. Honestly. Like, that again, I'm having to question, did you two stop having relations because you knew that it wasn't you he wanted, you knew it was Maddie, and you found out around that time or shortly after that he wanted to be with Maddie more, so you backed out and kind of played mother role to both of them and allowed him to do that stuff to your child? Like, that's my question at this point. There's no man in the world that's going to go that long dating somebody. That, I mean, maybe, but it's not very common without, somebody dating that long and they're not even having relations anymore. That's not common at all, even in a marriage.
My meds just really affected me, and I was just like, you know what? I think it took a while to figure out that it was my meds. I was trying to figure out if it was like my hormones or my body, like what was going on, but it was just my meds. We narrowed it down to that. So when I realized that what was happening, I just had to accept it, because it's either come off my meds or fix my sex drive. Well, come off my meds, fix my sex drive, or stay on my meds. I'm gonna stay on my meds. Like, I need to stay stable. So
Where have you guys been staying? I know you said they kicked you out of your apartment or whatever, but while they were at your apartment, where were you guys staying?
at a hotel right off the Disney property, Home Suites by Marriott or something like that, on Western Way, off of 429.
Okay. Did so you and Stefan have been together pretty much the whole time after? Have you guys always been together, or has there been times that you stay at the hotel or you work in and him be out by himself?
When I woke up this morning, he wasn't there, and he was gone for about an hour. But he came back and he said he had gotten some Wawa, and then he got lost because he didn't have his GPS or phone on him or anything like that. Took him a while to get back to the hotel, but he found us eventually. I wondered that. I was just like, he left the hotel and didn't have a phone on him, didn't tell me where he went. I'm like, how is he going to find his way back? I don't think he even paid attention to how I got here, because I'm the one who drove. I'm the one who knew where the hotel was. I was like, I don't know if he's going to figure it out, but he did. But he was gone for about, I want to say, an hour.
Okay. I don't think everything else right now.
I feel like can I see that image of, because I feel like unless, I'm not going to believe it until I have confirmation, and I'm always going to have doubts unless I actually see it myself. And I don't want to leave here today and never have the opportunity again. Like, I want to.
No, I don't mind showing you, but they are difficult things to see. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not.
Just the one image.
I'm not sure which picture they showed you earlier. I don't think we might have the same pictures. We do have different.
Like, what is she? If the police tell me that they got pictures like that, I'm going to believe them. And like I said earlier in the beginning, they're going to have to tase my ass, because I'm going to find the person who did this to my child. And they'll be lucky if they are able to walk or even breathe. And when I'm done, I don't understand why she wants to see it. Like, you don't believe them to the point. Like, okay, if I go on the aspect of she didn't know, which I don't know how she couldn't have known, because it's just not possible at this point, then you want it as proof to know that the police aren't lying to you, I guess. But it's weird to me, because I know that she knew. There's no way she didn't.
Different pictures, but I don't know if I have the same one
opinion.
that the other detective showed you. Okay. Does that make sense? Do you still want to look?
Yes. Am I gonna clearly see her face?
Yes.
And prior to this, have you known her to be sexually active with any boyfriends or friends?
That one right there is enough.
You saw it through the picture?
I could, but you can turn it around if you want.
It's enough. No crying, no motion. That picture's enough.
Do you recognize anybody else that may be in that photo?
Excuse me, what?
I know basically it's only genitalia, but is there anything else in that photo that stands out to you?
Did he really just say, do you recognize anybody else that could be in that photo? Like, other than Stefan and Madeline? Or are they asking if she recognizes Stefan by his member? I mean, I most certainly hope there wasn't other people involved. Lord Jesus.
Anything in the background?
Is this a picture of a picture? Is this a picture of a phone? Like, is this background
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
let me see. I think I recognize in the background now. There's not much space. Okay.
If you don't mind asking, who keeps calling?
Everyone, the
Or
news,
The family and everything.
my family, they're all trying to figure out if I was the news, because last they heard I was going to the news conference and that I was gonna watch that, but
She just saw the picture that she's claiming she didn't see, that she needed to see to know that it was actually happening. And again, no tears, no emotion. Like, are you just trying to make it look good? Are you trying to make it look like you didn't know?
so they all want an update and see where I'm at and what I'm doing and what's the latest.
Yeah,
but-
understandable.
Yeah, you can let them know that the reason it's taken so long is now this is now like a semi-police investigation.
Yeah.
Since that's where you guys live.
Yeah.
Okay. I know this may not make sense to you, but amongst us it does. Sometimes when people call the police and then want to file a report, there's jurisdictional lines that we got to follow. Okay.
Yeah.
So being that she was dropped off at school, that would make it Orange counties. Okay. But now we can't definitively say she was dropped off at school. We believe she was. We got to go on. We definitely know 100% that she was at home at your house on her way to school. So that's why we're involved. Okay. Does that make sense to you now? Okay. I can't think of anything else right now for her. Anything else that we may miss that?
I know that you said that Stefan was out, right, looking for her that night. Do you remember what time he came back? Like when you woke up, was Stefan home?
Thank you, Jen. My wonderful mod. Help me with that. She said they're asking if the privates could be someone else's. I appreciate that. And you letting me know, because I was like, what on earth are these people doing? What is going on here? This is ridiculous. Thank you, Jen.
Yes. What time did you wake up?
Can I look at my phone and tell you?
Yeah, of course.
Exactly, because it was phone calls that one. Let me see if I can find it. We're talking about Tuesday morning, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And while you were looking for the time, was there any specific reason on why he wanted to use your car instead of his?
Because he had just gotten a flat tire, so he's got a donut on one of the back wheels. And I told him not to drive the car because you can't drive very much on a donut, right? Like,
Okay.
not fast and not far. So
Did
I
he
told-
explain any, like, how the flat tire happened on the car, or
he was just
where he
driving down.
was when it?
And he was just driving down 192, and then he felt like a wobble or something weird. And then he pulled over and saw that the tire had like just shredded, just fell apart. So he pulled over into a plaza and changed the tire.
Do you know where about?
He says somewhere on 182, but he doesn't know exactly where because everything looks the same to him.
In Kissimmee?
So we know that at this point, when this is happening, that Stephen Stearns has master reset his phone. They went to the motel and he disappeared from the motel. They're asking her about him being in Northport, and at some point he's gotten a flat tire and had to change the tire, all while your daughter is missing. Like, yes, there can be coincidences, but at this point, you've got to be asking some questions. Like, all of these things happening and your daughter missing at the same time. The main thing for me would have been the master reset of the phone while my child's missing. I would have, like, that would have been like probably the straw that broke the camel's back for me, because no, that doesn't make sense. But she's got all of these things going on at the same time and still not making any connections about he could have something to do with it. And she's just been hit with the CSA or CSSA photos. Like, you're just playing oblivious at this point.
He doesn't know what business he may have stopped at or where. But I will tell you, Stefan also has ADHD. He's also very forgetful. It's like they're both the same. They both have ADHD. They're both very forgetful. They both have time blindness, which means they lose track of time. They if they don't have a watch on them at all times, they've lost track of time. They don't know how long they've been taking. An hour or more long shower, not realizing she's been in the shower for very long. They're both the same in that respect. He's also on medication, which is making him super forgetful. It's an
Is
anxiety.
this new for him, or has he always had this?
Stefan, he's always had ADHD. I want to say that's probably the ADHD part that just it's hard to manage and control, right? It's just how you are, and just a lot of those little things that just it was just too much for me. And I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, so right now,
Photos.
He doesn't remember where he got the
Photos, all the other shit happening, that's all good, but the ADHD is too much for her. Okay.
flat tire.
And he changed it himself, he said?
Yes.
Okay.
And he said he hurt himself while doing it. I think his thumb got caught in between the thing that cranks the car up and like the frame.
Mhm.
Something twisted and fell on his finger, and he said he yanked out his finger really fast and hurt himself.
So he used your car because of the flat tire. Okay. And then did you find the time?
Oh, sorry.
I don't want to speed it up because
8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday.
And he was home.
Yes,
Was he awake, sleeping, or what was he doing?
asleep.
Okay. And then do you know if at any point during any of this, like if he's showered, he's changed?
No.
Not that you have physically seen?
No, I haven't seen him shower or change.
Okay.
Do you recognize that phone number?
No. Oh, sorry, we're almost done.
No worries.
I think he showered. I'm not sure if he showered. I don't think he showered Sunday night. I think it must have been Monday morning sometime.
Monday morning?
Yeah, because there is a towel in my bathroom that's not ours, not that's hanging there. And I think I recall him telling me he was going to take a shower, but I just don't remember when exactly.
Okay. Does anybody else use this bathroom?
Just Stefan.
You said you had 2 roommates.
Yeah.
What are their names?
Angelica. Do you want the last name?
Please.
Last name Negro, Nigro. And
Do you happen to know her phone number?
She only speaks Spanish though, so if somebody in Spanish
Okay.
is going to call her.
Sure, we can find somebody who speaks Spanish.
I speak Espanol.
Please don't try to contact any of
And who's
these
the other one?
people.
Natalie Rosero.
Okay.
They're redacting the roommates.
How long have you guys
information.
been roommates with each other?
With Angelica, almost 3 years. With Natalie, almost 2.
So I'm not sure if you guys went to the house at all.
You were there, but not outside.
Okay, so these bedrooms are numbered. So do you know which room is Angelica's?
Angelica's room is number 3,
Number 3.
and Natalie's room is number 2.
Okay. Like if you actually physically are there, each door has a number.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And do you guys rent to a separate landlord? Like, does someone own that specific unit? Okay. And then he rents out rooms? It looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you meet them? Who are they in relation to you?
Natalie Rosero, I've known her since my sister was in middle school. They were middle school best friends. So we've known her, I'd say more than half her life now, 20 plus years. Angelica, I met her on Facebook Marketplace almost 3 years ago when she rented.
Looking for a place to
Yeah,
live.
looking for a place, yes.
How old is Angelica?
Thirty-one, 32.
Okay, so they're both a little older.
Yeah, and Natalie's.
Whoa, 31 is not old, okay?
36. Sorry.
Natalie is 33, I think.
Okay.
Since you mentioned Facebook Marketplace, social media.
She's got a Instagram.
Okay. Do you happen to know her Instagram name? Yeah. Or if you can pull up her page, that'd be great. Do you mind if I take a picture of it?
Okay, go ahead.
What about Stefan? Does he have social media?
I'm not sure I don't think he's got, does he? Yes, so he's got Facebook, he's got an Instagram, and he's got a Reddit.
See, talking like that, I don't think, and then all of a sudden, yes, and then naming off all of these things that you knew about. Like, are you just trying to make it look like you didn't know for a second and had to think really hard? Like, I'm wondering if her reactions and her composure in this is just all fake as fuck and just her trying to make it look like she's innocent and didn't know this and didn't know that and the third, you know? Convective segment says the Jen Soto side annoys me to no end. No doubt, I can't stand it. It's just it's irritating because it's so fake. It's just so fake. Yeah, I'm trying to let it play without talking too much because I am gonna have to go soon. But yeah, I do want to say, bring out some things that are standing out to me.
possibly Discord as well, which is like a chat app.
Do you have his Instagram that you can show me?
I had his Reddit post, some of them. I'll have to try to find them and pull them up. He's always like posting on kid sites
What
and
about
about Tamagotchis and things, weird things on his Reddit.
What's happened to stuff? Actually, can you guys update me on what's happening with Stefan at this point?
So we're like he said, we're going to get all the same information that Orange County got from you. So that right now we're kind of starting at the bottom and working our way up.
We're gonna go talk to him now.
Yep.
Oh, after.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So just so we know a little bit more about it, I know you mentioned something about gaming, or is that like one of his things to do? Gaming? What is he into?
He's into.
Like, what does he do on a daily basis? Obviously, he lives in North Florida. What's he into?
So, one thing. Another thing Stefan's got, mental health wise, is insomnia. He doesn't sleep well. And he's got also sleep apnea. So when he sleeps, he stops breathing and doesn't get good rest. His brain is always telling him to wake up and breathe. So he's always constantly being woken up. He doesn't get good sleep. Because of this, he spends the majority of his day sleeping. Just trying.
Okay, so the convective segment asks, what the hell is a Tamagotchi? Those little figurines he painted? No, a Tamagotchi, I'll try to pull one up when I push play on this again, but they were popular when I was young. It's just this little keychain thing, and it's a computer, and it's got a little digital pet, and you have to feed the pet and give the pet water and like make sure your pet's taken care of. And it was just like a little like digital pet type thing. They were popular back when I was young, probably the early 2000s or so. Yeah, he was really into those, and it was weird to me. Like, he got one for Madeline. I have the post. I'll have to pull them up. I have them because I was looking for it when this case first hit back in February. So I have to go through my screenshots because I did screenshot that stuff. Yeah, and yeah, they were popular, yeah, when I was young. Yeah, Stephen Stearns is a loser. And Jen Soto does look like Jabba the Hutt. I can definitely agree with that. I'll pull up the Tamagotchi thing while we finish listening to this.
Trying to get some rest, but it's a stupid cycle with sleep apnea. He'll spend the majority of his day sleeping. When he does wake up, he'll play a game called World of Warcraft. It's a video game. Or he'll meet up with his friends and play tabletop gamings, like battle, like they battle each other with little toys.
Cards or
Not toys, the little miniature figures.
Okay.
It's called Warhammer 40K. It's just a tabletop tournament game. Like you're a weird race, you're a weird race of creature, and we're going to war with each other.
Okay.
So they're just trying to kill each other.
Battle each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he does wake up and play games with no job. Yeah, and that's those little figurines that he painted are for that game. These are Tamagotchis. They're little keychain things, and you see the little digital pet there, and you have to like feed it, give it water. You can buy it clothes and things like that. That's what those were back in the day. Evidently, they're popular again because they're on sale at Walmart for $20, according to this. All right, I'm going to put the video back on so we can continue with that. Hold on just a second. I don't know if it like still plays audio when I pull other things up. So I would like leave it play and I'll have to figure that out.
What he's into. Also, he collects Tamagotchis and Digimons. I don't know if you guys remember Tamagotchis from back in the day. Little creatures we used to take care of.
Alive.
Yeah. He has a bunch of those. I'm gonna say that's right now. Those are his current hobbies.
And since you've known him for his triggers, like are there certain things that he gets upset about easily if you do or say, or I mean,
I know I can be a nag sometimes, and if I keep nagging, he'll get a little irritated. But I can't say I know what. I don't think he's got triggers.
have you ever experienced him outlash like to the extreme on anybody? You, any of his family, or does he ever hit you or
Oh,
just
no.
at all?
Oh no, never. I'll say he does have like a little bit of a temper, but it's not anything I've ever been afraid of or been like, oh my god, he's gonna hit me, or oh my god, he's never like that.
Have you guys had any disagreements lately, recently?
No.
Okay. All right. I think we're gonna go talk to Stefan a little bit to see if he can maybe give a little bit more insight of what happened the day after you dropped her off.
Is he being placed under arrest because of those pictures?
Yeah, we haven't made that determination yet, but
Press charges since she's a juvenile.
No fucking idea. I didn't think it was in my power. I thought you guys just automatically did it.
What do you think should happen to him for these pictures?
Ooh,
It's
good
crazy.
question.
Like I saw the pictures, but I'm still in denial because like there's a penis there,
Mm-hmm.
but is he visual? Does he show up in any of the pictures? Is there? I mean, I don't know who.
I haven't seen all of the pictures, so I can't answer that.
Okay, so this is going back. Yeah, I can scroll up to what my wonderful mod Jim was talking about. Yeah. She said during the second half, I believe she's asked if she wants to press charges on Stefan, and the fact that she debates it tells me a lot. This part right here is what my mod Jenny Jim was talking about. And yeah, that's weird to me. Like, I don't believe it's him, but in the interrogation of Stefan, when they arrest him, we see them taking pictures of like freckles and certain marks and things. Like, evidently his member was very identifiable, and you're still making excuses. Again, I think you're just trying to make it look good at the police department, like you didn't know something that you already knew.
Whether it's his penis or not, are you comfortable with him having content of someone else's penis on his phone?
That makes sense. Absolutely not. No.
All right, you never talked about her being sexually active with anybody.
I never even. Me assuming she had never been sexually active, I hadn't brought it up.
Has she ever had boyfriends in the past, or
No, she's not allowed to date.
So they're saying, you just saw your daughter with a penis. I'm assuming I think they said it was in her mouth or something. And they're like, she's like, well, I know you showed me the pictures, but I don't want to believe it. And they're like, okay, you said she's not sexually active, right? You said that she hasn't had a boyfriend, right? So like, come on now. Put the pieces together here. Like, there's not any other explanation for this, and your reaction is not what it should be.
how does that make her feel? I know some teenagers want to have a boyfriend. And
Yeah, I think she was okay with it. She never complained and said, "You want to date this person, whatever." for a little while. She's like, someone, can they be my girlfriend or can they be my boyfriend? And I'm just, I don't remember if it was a boy or girl. And I said, I think you're a little too young for that. Let's just wait till you're older, wait till you're older. And she was like, okay with that. Yeah, I know she recently had a crush on a boy, but
Has she ever had boys at the house?
no.
Like, again, trying to
Have
be
you
like,
ever had anybody at your house, any male friends at your house?
Not in years.
What about your roommates?
My roommate has a son who's 11 or 12,
Mm-hmm.
but he's darker skin complexion, but I don't think that would be his penis.
Do your roommates have boyfriends?
Not that I know of, I don't think they do.
Would there be any reason with if they have boyfriends with any other male?
With any other male? No.
so again, right in your face, there's no other explanation, no other males, no other roommates, no boyfriends, nobody at the house. Like, come on, Jen. Fake it till you make it. Damn, girl.
So what do you think should happen this time?
I'm afraid to say press charges, but what else?
Did she say I didn't catch. Hold on, I'm gonna try to rewind it a little bit.
Not that I know of, I don't think they do.
Something.
Would there be any reason with
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
if they have boyfriends with any other male?
With any other male? No.
So what do you think should happen this time?
I'm afraid to say press charges, but what else?
Okay, so he said, so what do you think should happen to Stefan? And she said, I'm afraid to say press charges, but what else? And that's when I paused it. I don't, what? I stated before in this live, if I found out somebody had been touching my child like that, and you would have to tase me to keep me from killing them. And I'm afraid to say press charges. Are you fucking kidding me? For fucking real, ma'am? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be cussing, but good God. This child had nobody to protect her. This woman is just, I mean, there's at the point I can't say she's wearing blinders anymore. You're just trying to walk around with your eyes closed.
There's a side of me that wants to say he's innocent, that this isn't happen, but who else's penis could that be? She's not left alone with anyone else.
And why would they be on his phone?
Yeah, why would they be on his phone exactly? I don't know what to do.
Okay, we can revisit that. Because after we're done talking to him, I'll probably come back and talk to you for a little bit, just to give you an update and stuff like that, okay?
Can I make one decision now and change my mind later? If I decide not to press charges now, could I change my mind and press charges later?
It's a lot to digest. Okay, so I don't want to make you answer that right now, you know. But when we come back, we'll talk more about it. Okay, when I come back.
Let's take some time to process everything.
Because you're going through a lot right now. But right now, I mean, in my eyes, that's this sounds bad, but almost secondary because we want to worry about this afterwards. She's our main focus.
That's where I'm at. I know that the sexual act happened, but I'm not convinced that he didn't take her to school. I'm not convinced that he's the reason she's gone. Because if this had been going on for so long, what's the motive? Why Monday? Why that day? Why the day after her birthday when we were supposed to spend the entire week together and have such a great time? Like we had plans. Like we knew we were just gonna be together that week and we were gonna have a good time. So I just can't think like why.
When you say what's the motive, what are you assuming?
Sorry, I was muted. My mod Jenny here says, actually, no, I'm giving her too much grace. It goes back to what we talked about, how maybe Jen still wants a relationship with him after all this. Yep. I think it's very frankly evident that she valued Stefan over Madeline way more. I mean, there's just no other excuse. It's crazy.
That she was taken. Not that anyone that I know has done something to her, because I feel like nobody I know would do something to her, would hurt her, would murder her, anything like that. I feel like, shoot. I just wonder if we're, like, I know the sexual acts happen, but I wonder if that's just completely separate to her actually going missing and just don't know. I don't know what to think.
You don't think Stefan has anything to do with her going missing?
I don't feel like he would. Why?
I'm just asking.
No, I know, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, what would be the reason? Where would he take her? There's nowhere I can think that he could take her.
Convicted Sigmund just said, yeah, brought up a good point. You just saw SS's member in her mouth, Jen. Like, what more do you need to think about? Like, for real. Like, you just saw the pictures and photos of what he's been doing to your child. And this monster can do that from the age of 8. But he couldn't kill her? Come on.
That I hadn't heard of or known about or would be familiar with, because if not, I would
Yep,
tell you.
exactly,
She
Jen.
would be
Knows
here, she could be here, she could be
the
here, she could be
essay
here.
happened.
There's no one I
Exactly.
can think of.
Who does he know that lives in St. Cloud? You know where St. Cloud is.
I do know where St. Cloud is. Does he know anyone in St. Cloud?
Him or you?
I know people in St. Cloud.
Where do they live?
I haven't seen him in a long while though. But
Excited. I know people in St.
one
Cloud.
person lives close to Harmony.
No voice
Just driving
change
all the way down St. Cloud, passing St. Cloud a little bit.
with the photo
One
evidence.
person lives in St. Cloud, like off the old Canoe Creek Road.
Okay.
Anyone he knows, I can't think of anyone that he would know.
Has
I know
Stefan ever went with you to visit any of your friends in St. Cloud?
No.
So you're not sure, does he know anybody in St. Cloud?
I'm not sure if he knows anyone in St. Cloud. I know the girl he dated or was sleeping with. I guess that's technically Kissimmee off of Michigan. That's technically Kissimmee. So no, it's not St. Cloud.
Let me ask you this. Now I'm gonna get a little bit more in depth. Why would his car be in St. Cloud Monday?
I know he was going to a bunch of gaming stores, video game stores. Not maybe not video game stores, but like board game store, like where he can buy little miniatures and stuff. He also plays a card game. Also, I think he was looking for cards that day. A card game called Dorcana. I know he headed up. I think he told me the shops were off of 192 somewhere. I'm not sure how far they were. I don't know if they were in St. Cloud, but I know he headed in that direction Monday while I was at the doctor's appointment, Or no, just kidding. After.
Okay. When's the last time you've been in your car in St. Cloud?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
While you look for that, did anybody else drive your car while you guys were looking other than Stefan?
The last time I was in St. Cloud was February 7th. I had a doctor's appointment over there.
Okay. Who would have been driving your car between Monday and now, other than you?
Stephanie.
Okay. 3 o'clock in the morning.
If he says he was out driving around, trying to think of places to look for her.
Jen's such a freaking idiot.
You didn't go with him to look? Why?
I have to stay home and take my meds and go to sleep.
What?
All right.
She just said she didn't go look because she had to stay home, take her meds, and go to sleep. What? The fuck? Good God.
So just to be clear, your roommates or nobody else has access to your car other than him? Nobody has a key to your car other than him or you?
The only key they would have access to would be the spare that I keep on a hook by my bedroom door, and anyone can grab that. Would I think my roommates would go into my room and take it? No. But I think the only person that would have was Stephanie.
All right, anything else? You good?
No, for now.
Okay. All right, Ms. Jennifer, thank you so much. And once again, I apologize that you have to give the story again, but like I said, now I have to play catch up.
Am I allowed to contact anyone right now or no?
Who do you want to contact?
My sister, my mom keeps calling me, but I'm not really sure what to say at this point.
I mean, you can tell. I can't tell you what to say or what not to say. I will say that we are now taking over the investigation. So, yes, ma'am. And I'll give you my card.
Is there a case number or anything I need to?
I don't think so. We have theirs.
Yeah.
But I don't have ours yet. But just because this is an open investigation, I would highly suggest not to share any information outside of this room. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. And I'll be back in a little bit.
Wait for the police because the cell phone. Should I lose his phone still, or can I take it? Okay, I'll text.
So that's about it. For the end of this, they come back in and like state the date and case number. And I'll let it play out until it does that. But unfortunately, I hate to do this when I've got 10 people in here. That's a lot for me. But I am going to have to end it after this because I got some things to do. However, I will be coming live again tomorrow And I think Stefan's interview might come next. I'm not sure if it's Jennifer's video interview or Stefan's video interview. So we will go over that tomorrow, or as much of it as I can get done tomorrow. Um,
Okay.
1758.
Do you guys need anything?
all right. So yeah, tomorrow I'll post a live later today stating when I will be coming live tomorrow, and we'll go over the next interview that's in chronological order. I do believe that it is going to be Stefan's interview, but I'm going to double check my dates and times and make sure. Convicted Signet said after finding out what he did to her daughter, after seeing the pictures in his phone, she was still worried about retaining counsel for the man who just murdered her child. Just wow. Yeah. At the point that she was trying to retain counsel, it was, I believe, directly after this interview, because we heard her trying to text Stefan's dad, Chris Stearns, and tell him where to park and where to enter the building. And we hear, and it's in one of the lives that I previously did, where she's texting him and telling him that he needs to get a lawyer for Stefan because they found child sexual assault images on his phone. So Jen is calling Stefan's dad, Chris, and asking Stefan's dad, Chris, to get Stefan a lawyer because they found child sexual assault images on his phone of her daughter. Yeah, that mess is crazy. I want to again thank my wonderful mod, Jenny Jen. She's awesome. I really, really love her being here. Thank you so much. Jenny Jen says it was right after he was arrested because she said she was afraid of him being falsely accused. See, look at that right there. That's why Jenny Jen's my mod. She's so smart. And yeah, like falsely accused after you just saw the images, for real? Like I just can't. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Like I said, unfortunately, I've got to go. I do appreciate you all being here, and I will be posting a thumbnail sometime before 6 p.m. my time. So in the next 4 or 5 hours, stating what we're going to go over, and I'll probably try to come live again tomorrow around the same time, around 10 a.m. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. I hope you have the best day you've ever had in your whole entire life. Thank you again, Jenny Jen, my mod. And see y'all tomorrow.